Where are you going? To measure Jerusalem, to find out her breadth and her length. Prophet Zechariah is a little bit like the book of Revelation. It's talking a little bit about end times. It's not necessarily talking about a physical place of Jerusalem. It's measuring of walls. How big would this city be? Today we honour Mary under the title of the Gate of Heaven. Mary is the one that helps us to come into heaven, shepherds the people into heaven, into the glory of God. We're told, "Sing, rejoice, daughter of Zion." This is what the prophet Zechariah says. "For I am coming to dwell in the middle of you." It is the Lord who speaks. I'm coming to dwell in the middle of you. God literally dwells in the middle of Mary. God comes into Mary's middle. Mary becomes pregnant to be able to carry Jesus Christ, God amongst us. God comes to us as well to dwell in us, but also to dwell in the midst of us. The prophet Zechariah reminds the Jewish people that they were not just the only chosen people. We're told, many nations will join the Lord. They will become his people. One of the beauties of our Christian faith is that it gathers all people. And I think one of the very beautiful things, looking at the images of Mary throughout history, from lots of different nationalities, is that different people have depicted Mary in the ways of their own national identity. And Mary has appeared, and there have been apparitions of Mary in lots of different places. In Europe, in parts of Africa, parts of Asia, India, South America. And often Mary has been depicted in perhaps in the indigenous way, or the look of that particular people. Mary wasn't just depicted in the ways perhaps of the Jews of 2,000 years ago. And I think that's one of the great things of our faith, that we are a truly universal church, and our devotion to Mary is not just sort of bound to the devotion of Mary, who was the mother of Jesus 2,000 years ago. But devotion to Mary is the gate of heaven, the one who welcomes all people, all nations into heaven. And when Mary comes, she comes to speak to people of a particular place and time. And you can look at all the different devotions of Mary, and it's quite beautiful within our tradition to see some of the imagery. We have, even in our own country, there is depictions of Our Lady of the Aborigines, different images of Mary depicted as an indigenous person, or as an Asian person, or an African. And it's, I think, one of the real charms of our faith. We don't see this as much with Jesus, but we do see this with Mary. I'm coming to dwell in the middle of you. Let's give this some thought. What does this really mean? I think in an initial sense it's meaning in relation to Mary. We're told, "Sing, rejoice, daughter of Zion." This is Mary. "For I am coming to dwell in the middle of you." But Zion is also a place. It's not just the place of Jerusalem, it's the place of heaven. But it's also the place of heaven on earth. We are experiencing something of heaven on earth now, and God is dwelling with us. Let's be attentive to the fact that God is in the middle of us. God is in our midst. God is close to us. And God's not putting up barriers. Mary is not putting up barriers. We're being welcomed, all people, into the place of paradise. I'm coming to dwell in the middle of you. Many nations will join the Lord on that day. They will become his people.